Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is June 10th, 2021. It's a Thursday, so it's happy hour. And today for happy hour, I've actually got an alcoholic beverage. This time, I went to my local brewery and picked up some of this beer. It's called Shark Meets Changeup. It is it started out as a beer called Shark Meets Hipster. And every year they've been kind of like iterating on it and changing up a little bit. And this one is called Shark Meets Changeup. It's a wheat beer, super tasty, not too bitter. Although this Changeup, I think it's a mix of a couple of different types of hops that I think is going to make it a little bit more bitter, is what the description said of it. But we'll get into that in just a second. But before we do that, let's say hi to everyone listening on the podcast, the audio only version. Hope you guys are doing well today. It is hot here in Chicago, and if you guys are listening to this on the podcast, you already missed it. But did anyone else see the solar eclipse today? I left for my run a little bit earlier, not quite as early as I needed to, but I got out towards the lake early enough where I got to see like the tail end of the moon in front of the sun. And I've never actually seen that before. Like I've tried, like, remember, what was it? Was it last year there was an eclipse, or 2 years ago there was an eclipse? And like all of a sudden on Amazon, all like the eclipse watching sunglasses were like, that used to be like, literally like a dime a dozen, went to be like $10 a pair. But I didn't see it then, but I saw it for sure today. It was pretty weird. It was like someone took like a chunk, like took a bite out of a corner of the sun. It was pretty amazing. But you guys missed that today. But I saw that this morning, and since then it's been super, super hot. I mean, it's not related, but it's just been super hot. Hopefully you guys aren't too hot there on your runs. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you're at a point in your day on a Thursday or maybe Friday, depending on when you're watching this or where you're watching this, that you can enjoy a nice recovery beverage as well. Let's see who's here today and say hi to the people in the chat. We got Robert Hodge saying, "What up, everybody? Wife and I are relocating to a different spot close by, and I've scoped out a little bit of the surrounding area. Excited to put my shoes to the ground on some new terrain." Oh, that's fun. That's fun. You got to find the new running routes. Awesome. Good luck on the move. Awesome. Chris says he's working on a cup or two of afternoon coffee. Is there a run in his future today? Happy Thursday, co-family. I don't know. Well, I mean, if you got the 2 afternoon cups of coffee, then you should be good to go. All right. Steven Gersdorf says, "What's up, guys?" Awesome. And he says, "Been looking at some of the new Ultra Superior 5.0s. I was looking at that too. I saw a tweet yesterday from Ultra saying that they are out. And I'd seen some previews of them, I think like on Running Warehouse. And then there's a guy who has a running store, and he's been doing a lot of really great videos about Ultra and just trail shoes. I forget what channel that is, but he previewed them there too. And I was like, they look like bowling shoes this year. Last year I was like, they're a little bit on the nose with like mountains on the side of it. But otherwise I thought that they looked really great. I love the look of them. This year, I feel like it's a step in the wrong direction. Everything's just trying to be more streamlined, I feel like, at Ultra, but I feel like I love the look of it already. But looks aside, I'm pretty excited to get another pair of Superiors on my feet just because that's such a great shoe. For the kinds of places that I tend to run, my skill level in trail running, it's like a perfect shoe for me. So I really enjoy that one. So I didn't buy them last night because I just spent a bunch of money. It's getting hot. A lot of shoes that I've already like had on my list of shoes that I need to get. And there's still a whole bunch more that I need to get that I did spend a bunch of money on because I was like, I was just doing shopping yesterday and this morning too. So that's going to have to wait, but I don't know. We're going to be going back to Iowa, not where my in-law, I mean, kind of to my in-laws' house, but we're going to rent a cabin out there for a weekend. And then it's an area that we were before, but there'll be a lot of hills in the area and like dirt roads and stuff like that. So very kind of like remote. And so I was like, oh, maybe that'd be a good time to bring a new pair of trail shoes out. So I'm thinking or maybe I'll just bring the 10 Nights. I don't know, but really steep hills. And just a lot of fun. And crazy bugs though. Right, that's what I remember. Just like bugs like chasing you, being vindictive. But yeah, so maybe I will get them. I'm not so sure. I don't know. Are there a lot of changes? I mean, it's a 5.0, so it should be changes, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Steven Gersdorf said not many reviews on those yet. Now I'm like, well, maybe I should hurry up and get a review out. I don't know. All right. Martha says she's eating an excellent baklava pickup from a newish Israeli cafe in Basalt. Unusually good baklava. It has a hint of salt. You know, I feel like that's a very underrated food. I don't know. I haven't had a good one in a long time, I gotta tell you. All right, Steven76 says, yo, what's going on with the beer emoji? So let's crack this guy open. You know, here's the thing. I brought my growler. So I have a growler, a big to-go jug, a 64-ounce jug. I think it's 64 ounces. Is that what a growler is? But they have a really pretty design. They've come a long way over the years since that brewery opened up. And I brought it all the way over there. And once I got there, I was like, oh, wait. It's still like COVID times. Are they even going to fill this for me, or are there going to be rules against that? So I went in there. I was like, do you guys doing growler fills? And they're like, no, we're still not yet. Soon, but not yet. So they did these, which it's a pretty interesting idea where basically they have the cans except for the top on it. And then they pour it straight from the tap. And then there's a machine that just clamps this top on, and then you crack it open just like a regular can. So it's pretty cool the way they did that. But you know what was the nice part about it too is that I was like, oh, well, I guess now I'll just try 2 different beers today. So I do have another one in the fridge that I think is one that my wife's going to like a little bit more. It's their summer ale. She usually doesn't like the beers that are she doesn't like them as bitter. So I think she might like that one better. But this one's good. I mean, but she likes this one, the Shark Meats Hipster. But we'll see how this Shark Meats Changeup is this year. It was a bad pour, guys. I messed up. I got nervous. I was pouring on camera. I messed it up. And then I was spilling a little bit, and I was getting nervous. I was spilling beer on the carpet in here. So, all right. It smells delicious. I got to tell you, I can't wait to drink this. It's going to be nice. All right. Leona says, hey, CoFam, early runs get the best views. Amazing sunrise meditation run vid. Always love your work, Mark. Thanks so much. Now I feel bad because I was like, you know what? I should have thought ahead more and saved it and got out really early and got a better sunrise run video with the eclipse. But then I was like, you know, how well is a 360 camera really going to be able to pick up what's going on? Because I was like, should I try to get out there with the camera, even like a good camera? But I'm like, I'm going to need some major filters. I did just buy a new ND filter for the camera. So I was thinking about doing that, but I was like, no, but I also want to get a run in. So, but maybe I should have, because I could see it clearly with like my naked. I mean, I had sunglasses on. I didn't look like, I didn't stare at it. But you know, I was kind of like, oh, I could see it. It was that obvious today. So, but I did have a lot of fun with yesterday's video because like I saw on the forecast that the winds were going to be still. And that's just when like there's a little bit of clouds and the winds are still, you just get some beautiful sunrises along the lakefront. So it was a real treat. All right. Cheers, guys. This has calmed down a little bit. Wheat beer with a little bit of like a fruity taste. This one is much more bitter than this beer normally is. I don't know that my wife will like this one as much. But yeah, because I'm just getting almost like straight IPA from this kind of flavor. Let me double check. It's wheat flavor, but I don't know if it's a wheat beer. I got check. So Shark Meats Changeup. Yeah. So they did a double dry hop on it with Amarilla, Vic Secret, and Yukonot. Yeah, it's a wheat IPA. So I was kind of right. And they say it has lots of mango, melon, and pine, followed up with a dank earthiness. I get the dank earthiness. That's just, I kind of feel that's what I feel with like all IPAs. And then I smell the mango and melon, but I don't taste it. I want to taste it because I just love those flavors. I just feel like it got a little bit, the bitterness overwhelmed it a little. But still, very nice for the summer. Very nice for a summer beer. I mean, there's 2 ways that I like to go with summer beers. I usually like to go with like light of beer as possible. Anything from like Busch Light, Natty Light to like PBR. Or for summer beer, I like a bitter beer. So, well, you know what? There's not a lot of beers I don't like in the summer. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. But yeah, this is good. It's good. I haven't had a dry hop beer in a long time. So yeah. Chris Larson says cheers. Well, cheers to you, Chris. Raymond Zoller says butter my bread. Hello, Mr. K. What's going on, Raymond? How are you? Jeff says it's 2 p.m. and I'm still working. Plus, I was hoping to get stuff done this evening, but man, a beer sounds nice. Yeah, I mean, I was still hoping to get some stuff done. I got to do some laundry. I got some laundry going on downstairs in the laundry room, so I got to go pick that up. But I was like, I keep meaning to go to Dry Hop, support my local brewery for the happy hour. So, and then I keep putting it off for good reasons, not bad reasons, but like reasons. But like, no, today I'm going to make it a priority. I'm going to do it. So I'm not going to be because like, you know what? The only other thing about this is when you get the growler, it has like a resealable lid. This is a pop top. So like there's 32 ounces of this beer. It's not like I can seal it back up again. So I'm just going to have to finish it right now. So, oh, well, we'll see how it goes on that. Maybe I'll just put it into like a thermos or something. I'll probably just drink it. It's good. It's good beer. Will Willing says endorphin speed killer. Will there ever be a shoe equivalent to or better than the speed? Right now, I mean, it's such a good shoe. It's such a good shoe. It could do everything. It works for so many people. The price is amazing. It lasts a long time still. It's good. It's a good shoe. Like I'm not sure. I mean, I really thought that the Magic Speed was going to be one of those that was going to be in contention. I also thought that perhaps the Deviate Nitro would be in contention. Something with like carbon in it that would be able to compete both as like go everything from like daily training all the way up to marathon racing, and neither of the shoes quite gets there because the endorphin speed is still very light. That's the other thing. So it's a good shoe. Well, I mean, I think I'll be picking up version 2. Probably not soon. Because there's a lot. I think I just ordered a whole bunch of shoes, so there's a lot. I got a lot of running to do. I've been feeling better. Today's run, I didn't. By no means did I push it, and it was still a slow run. And I still kept it pretty easy too. So I wasn't even like. It's not like I was working hard, but I was slow. But I was just taking it easy and going, and it ended up being slow. But my body's like, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm going to meet up my running buddy over the weekend. Lately we've been doing 10-mile runs together at about like 9 minutes per mile pace. And so that right now, like today, I feel like that would have been a challenge, but by the weekend, maybe in 2 days, I think I'll be able to do that. So we'll see. All right. Mark says, if I wasn't working hard, quote unquote, I'd totally have a glass of wine. Hey, Mark, did you have a good result the other day? I saw someone was saying that you just finished a race. Tell me about that. Did you just race? Did I miss that? Sorry. All right. Lisa says, yo, what's going on? San Diego Petco Park 5K, 10K, and half is happening on July 18th. But still no word on when the border will be open. The Rock and Roll San Diego is October 23rd, 24th. Maybe that one I can race. Ooh. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like, I mean, California is opening up, right? In a couple of days. Chicago's opening up tomorrow. And the state of Illinois. I think like pretty much all COVID restrictions will be lifted in the state of Illinois and Chicago starting tomorrow. So I'm not sure if that means all like even like special events, like things that are going to be like is the Wrigley Field going to be full? Like those kinds of things. That's kind of crazy. But in the city of Chicago, positivity rate has been dropping rapidly. Like Monday, we were at 2% or like 1.9%. Yesterday, we were at 1.7. So it's just dropping. Cases are dropping. So it's really, really encouraging. California, I think later this month is going to be opening, except for certain federal regulations still apply in terms of mask wearing. But like, yeah. So hopefully that means, those races will certainly be going, I think. But yeah, whether the border opens, that's going to be a different question. All right. Where's Mark? No, Mark said it was wrong. A wrong Mark. Oh, I didn't have a race. Okay, sorry about that. I thought who was it? All right. Well, we'll figure it out. Let's see what else we got here. Brian Johnson said, I tried the speed, endorphin speed, and my heel didn't stay locked in. I get it, but for me as a big guy, it didn't work. Oh, okay. Have you tried the Pro, Brian? Because I feel like the Pro has a little bit more secureness in the heel. I feel like that heel comes up a little bit taller, and it's a little bit more rigid. And if you are a bigger guy, then I feel like you might be able to hit that carbon plate a little bit harder than I can. And so I don't really like that shoe except for like half marathon or shorter, but you might really enjoy that one. I wouldn't wear it for like every day, which I kind of might with the speed, but that might be the way to go for you if you're interested in that endorphin. Jeff says about this beer, this tall boy, go ahead and drink it. No one will be as good as later. Yeah, that's how I'm going to say it. I don't want to, it's a food product. It's going to go bad if I leave it out all afternoon, if I wait for like till dinner time. So I'm just going to enjoy it while I have it, It's a nice, it's a recovery week, I'm not in a rush to get back out there and start training. Not that this is going to like set me back a bunch, but it's a good time to kind of indulge a little bit. Finn M says, I'm finishing a beer and not sure if I should go for a run later. It's already 7:10 p.m. in the UK. I mean, there's still some time. It's summertime, right? Is the sun still up late? I mean, I just don't know. It's been almost 20 years since I've been in England, and I was only in there for a couple of days in the winter. But the summertime, the sun's out late, right? You could go still, Finn, if you want. But, if you're already a beer in, maybe just relax for the night. I'm going to run tomorrow, I guess. Daniel M. wants to know, is anyone following the NCAA Track and Field Championships this week? I've been following it on Twitter. So far, the consensus from Twitter is they haven't been able to figure out how to keep the clock on the screen the entire time, or they decided not to. And for some reason, during a steeplechase, they cut to commercial. I don't know why. Those are like my two big takeaways from Twitter responding to the NCAA Track and Field Championships. Are you guys watching it? What are you guys looking for? I saw the finish of the 1500, which was pretty amazing. I'm interested to see generally what like Cooper Tier and Cole Hocker are going to do. I feel like Cole Hocker gets a lot of attention around here because he's from Indiana. So a lot of people from around this area are very interested in following him. So I hear more about Cole Hocker than I do about Cooper Tier, but I feel like Cooper Tier is kind of like the favorite, right? All right. See what else we got. Brad Nez says, got my first pair of the Infinity Rack version 1s. Super comfy. It's a good shoe. It was kind of weird for me with the guide rails, maybe because I do have kind of a sloppy foot strike, but when you get into a rhythm with it, it's really nice. It is really nice. But then people didn't really like the version 2s that much for some reason. So I don't know. I wonder if we'll see it again next year. And what I think what has been a really big surprise for me is that now, like the official kind of like 18-week, if you're doing an 18-week training program for the Chicago Marathon, your training started like Monday. And so since then, I've been seeing so many people out running every day. A lot of people are out there running with like their previous year's Chicago Marathon shirts, which is nice to see. But it's like, I get it. You're out here. I haven't seen you all winter. So like, I get why you're out here, but it's cool. I love the enthusiasm. But what I also suspected, there's still time for it, but what I suspected was by this time, I thought that like the lakefront would be full of Infinity Reacts and Invincibles. I don't think I've seen hardly any ZoomX Invincibles out there. I don't know if like just not selling. It's hard to get. I haven't looked at inventory or anything like that to see. Maybe it's backward. Maybe they're sold out. I don't know, but I haven't seen those. Instead, what I'm seeing a lot of are, well, I always see a lot of Brooks Ghost, Brooks. What is it? Launch and Revel. Those I see a lot of those, but I've been seeing so many Hokas, Clifton's and Mach Force. That's just like that's dominating this year, which is pretty interesting because normally, I mean, you know, I still see a lot of Pegasus. I see a lot of multiple years back of Pegasus, pretty much every day that I go out, and then I see a lot of Turbo 2s. There's always a lot of those, but yeah, I thought I would see a lot more Infinity React 2s and Invincibles, but I'm not seeing them. Not seeing them. Leona says, I still run in my 2018 Chicago shirt. It's pretty bright. So also for safety reasons. 2018, was that the light blue one with the giant like Chicago, like the letters were real big, were like blue and red, real bright? I think that was 2018, right? Wasn't it? I think so. I'm trying to think what the 2019 shirt was. I can't picture it in my mind. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Will Willing says, like, that's what I've been thinking. I see a lot more people out in the hood. I ask myself, where were you all winter? Yeah. I mean, part of me is like, man, what are you guys doing out here? This is my trail, right? Because I'm like, I'm the one that's been out here all winter. Like, I know there's like 4 people that I see regularly, and we nod to each other every day. I'm like, I know those are the people that have been out been out here. And I don't know who these new people are. But then I'm like, no, welcome. Enjoy it. You know, like, it's great weather for running. Come on out. Sun's beautiful. Water's nice. Well, the water's still a bit chilly. But like, you know, welcome out here. I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you. You know, the more people that get out there, the more the attention that the city will have to pay towards, like, you know, maintaining it as a good area for running. So yeah, that's the way I see it. Chris says, what do you consider threshold pace? I let Garmin suggest a workout for me yesterday, and it had me do 3 times 7 minutes at threshold, which they said was 15 seconds per minute pace slower than my 1 mile time. Okay, well, so 2 things on that. One, I was watching the running channel. That it's the British one, the one that kind of is very much modeled after, like, it's like Top Gear, but for running, but much drier and not as silly. It tries to be silly, but I feel like it's very British. Not that Top Gear wasn't, but the comedy is just a little bit different. But they did one where they had one of their newer I guess hosts. I'm not sure what you call them. And she had a Garmin 55. I think it was like a promotion. It was like a paid promotion kind of video, but she did whatever the Garmin said for 30 days. It was a pretty amazing video. It was great. It was fun to watch. And so it was interesting because she was like, oh, this is slow. Like, certain things were a lot slower than she thought. And then she was doing a lot more workouts than she normally did. And so it was like pretty interesting to see. Now, I would say threshold is going to be between 10K and half marathon pace. That's kind of normally where it falls. And I think there's probably some like biologic variation between exactly where. I don't think it falls like exactly in the middle. But that's kind of where it is. So I'm trying to think. My mile pace is, I'm somewhere around like 5:40 for the mile. You know, I'd like to think that on a good day, you know, if I were fresh, I could be 5:30-ish. I feel like I made a lot of progress. Did a lot of good speed work this year. I feel like I'm getting better at that. So let's say 5:40. For me right now, my 10K pace is around 6:26. My half marathon pace is around like 6:40 something. So let's say it's closer to like 6:30 or 6:35. So mine is, you know, almost a minute slower than my mile pace. Now, that could very well just be that my mile pace is really bad. But threshold for me, if someone said 3 times 7 minutes at threshold, I would shoot for about 6 minutes, 30 seconds per mile. So about 50 seconds to a minute slower than mile. So like, if they were telling me to do 7 minutes at 5:55, I wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, that's insane. Because then I would have to do faster than my mile PR. I'd have to do like faster than like my 5K. I mean, I'd be running a 5K PR 3 times. Not 5K, no, a 5K total, but you know what I mean. It'd be faster than a 5K. So I think that's a little bit off, Chris. Or maybe it believes in you and it knows that you can do better. Maybe do you think maybe your mile time is off? Maybe you need to, maybe like you got some fitness in there. So there's a disconnect. But I think that, you know, the one thing that I would check with all those when like the watches are choosing workouts for you is I would really like make sure that either you're getting a good heart rate from the wrist or you're using an external monitor. Otherwise, I don't know that like a lot of those are like it's useful, but I think it's skewed if you're not getting good heart rate data, because I think that's going to be a big component in that. Austin Bernstein says, what are your thoughts on the polar running programs that are strictly heart rate based, i.e. 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon? You know, I've never tried any of like the polar workouts that it suggests. This week, every day, it's been suggesting that I go for a nice, easy cardio run for 82 minutes. And I'm like, you're like, are you kidding me? 82 minutes? You want me to go for an 82-minute workout or like easy run today? Like I'm going for 60-minute workouts or easy runs, and I feel like that's a lot. So maybe too much even. So I'm like, I don't know about that. But yeah, I haven't done any of those heart rate based plans. Chris says, exactly. I know I don't run fast often anyway, but I was in serious trouble during that run. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to manage 15 seconds faster than my mile PR, like my mile race pace for 7 minutes would be, yeah. I mean, though that rest would need to be at least 3 minutes to 5 minutes. It would need to be a really long rest, like more than like heart rate recovery. I would need a lot of time. But that workout sounds tough. Oh, this is a great question. Ariel Sagalowski says, are the water fountains on the lakefront path open now? I don't think so. I think they might be starting tomorrow. So I'll check for this weekend because the bathrooms have been open, like at Castaways and at all the other places where there are like bathrooms and like little kind of like, not outhouses, but little lavatories along the lakefront, not porta potties, but like physical structures that have bathrooms there. Those have been getting open as long as you're getting there like kind of late enough in the day. They don't usually open before 6 a.m. So like after 6 they're open. I used one the other day on Tuesday, I think. And so that was really nice to see that they're open again. But on Wednesday, which was yesterday, in that same area, the bathroom was open. And then I distinctly remember seeing a woman like running over to the fountain and trying to get water and being like, because it was hot yesterday. So like she was disappointed. So I'm thinking that until like Chicago fully opens, which is tomorrow. So maybe I'll check tomorrow towards the end of my run to see if any of the water fountains are open. Like normally what they do is at some of the water fountains, at like the busier kind of like not trailheads, but kind of, let's say trailheads, places where you can get onto the lakefront path. They will not only like turn on the water fountains, but they'll put on like an extra like kind of set of water fountains. They'll like kind of like daisy chain off the water line. I haven't seen any of that stuff out yet, which I feel like it needs to be out there because it's hot and people are running. So hopefully we'll see that soon. But I'm wondering if like it's delayed. Usually like Memorial Day is when it opens. All that stuff gets turned on. The bathrooms are open, but so I guess if you were like in real trouble, you can go into the bathroom and drink water from the fountain, like the sink, I'm not saying get it out of the toilet, but out of the sink. If you were in real trouble and needed some water, but I don't think the water fountains are open yet. We'll see soon. Jeff Light says, weather permitting, hoping for a real PR, not just one for post 40 in the half marathon in August. Oh yeah, that's the one in Carolinas you're going. He says he wants to get below 150. PR from a decade ago was 151. I think even on a hot day, I think that's doable. Because I think you could do it, Jeff. 151 is doable even on a hot day. You can. I feel good about it. I think you should be training with that in mind for the next couple months. Shannon says, "Hey, Co and Co. This stream is smack dab in the middle of my workday, but I cannot miss out. This group is the best." Well, thanks so much. It's great to have you here, Shannon. It's always good to see all the regulars, and I love seeing all the new people that are dropping by too. Welcome everybody. It's just good to see everybody here. I guess it's a good time to start talking about some travel I have coming up. Some of it I'm not sure if I can really talk about it yet, but I'll talk about some of the races that I've signed up for. So let's talk about the races, because I don't know about the other travel I can talk about yet. I got to follow up, but I got some fun travel coming. But one thing that I did sign up for, I signed up for 2 steeplechase races. Unfortunately, they are several hours apart, hours of driving apart on consecutive days, like within 12 hours of each other. So I signed up for that Elmhurst Distance Running Festival. It's at Elmhurst College, which I believe I think it's just a small university. I think it's a small college. I don't think it's a university. I think it's a small college. I don't think it's a community college. I'm not sure, but it's a local institution of higher learning. They have a track team. The proceeds go to support the track team and the cross country team. It's on July 22nd, which I think is a Thursday. They have a steeple. And so I've entered into that. But also on Friday is a USATF Masters Championship in Des Moines, Iowa. So Des Moines, Iowa, or it's actually in Ames, but that is a good 7-hour drive from Elmhurst. Yeah, maybe still 7, because Elmhurst is kind of in a weird spot. It's not really near a highway, I don't think. Well, maybe if I go a different way, I can get there sooner. But it's a long drive. So that'll be in July. So I got to get some spikes. I got to do some speed work once my legs are ready for that. I got to get up on the track, do some work. I don't know how I'm going to practice the hurdle, the steeple obstacles. I just don't know how I'm going to do that. Yeah. Maybe I'll just practice by running up on rocks and stuff, and with that kind of thing, just doing box jumps and just jumping, but I'm not going to get a chance to practice. And so I signed up for the USATF Masters Championships. I didn't put in a seed time. So they were enter your seed time from 2019 to 2021. I left it blank. It still let me register. So I'm registered for the Masters Championship. Now, what would be ideal is if the Elmhurst Distance Festival was on a Wednesday, and then I had 2 days till the steeple in Ames, Iowa, because I'd like to have, because then I could do it twice. It's a 2-mile race. It's a 3,000 meter race. I think I could run it twice fairly well, or as well as I am capable of doing it. So that's coming up. Ted Henry says, don't go for spikes. It will end in tears. I still have a scar on my leg from where I stabbed myself with spikes one time. I landed in the pole vault pit funny, but yeah. I'm comfortable enough in the spikes. I think I'm going to go for it. I think I'm going to I'm going in whole hog, 2 feet, so I'm going to try it. Trevor says there are hurdles out on the track in Winnemac Park, but the hours are weird for the track, only open during the week during work hours. Well, I can manage that. That's something that I'm kind of flexible. So I think I might be able to do that, but I don't know. We'll see, but that's something I'm going to go for. That's what I'm going to go for. Martha says, Mike, please find out about master stuff for me. After Boston, I want to keep my age group in short and middle distance. Martha, I think we should do it. We can go on tour. I think we could clean up. Because I was looking at my high school coach placed second in nationals in the 800 a couple years back. And in the 800. So that was something I was like, all right, coach, good job. really impressed. And I feel like, these meets, I think that like they're like the weird thing about these meets is that like if like actual pros that were in our same age group like competed, they'd clean up. I just don't think they're interested in that, right? Like if you're like Bernard Lagat, you're like, I could win every single track event, but like I'm a 6-time Olympian. Do I really need to be the USATF Masters champion too? Right. So like there's a certain there's a non-eliteness to it, I think, in a lot of ways. I think there's still some sub-elites that are competing, but I also feel like it's a lot of like people that are like, I want to see how good I could do for my age group. And I've also been thinking a lot lately about, is there a Masters decathlon? I think I could do that. I have the pole vault experience. I've competed in all of the events in the decathlon before in high school. Now that was a long time ago. I graduated from high school in 1997. So that was a while. But I've done all those events. And yeah. So I'm like, I probably need to get connected with a track club that has some sort of financing that can help me train for those things. But at these events, like if I wanted to compete in the pole vault, I think I just could show up and do it, because they're like, we'll provide poles, they'll provide shot put, they'll provide jabs. They're like, you could bring your own. We recommend you bring your own. You do have to get them weighed and all that kind of stuff to make sure that they're all legal. But you could bring all your own stuff, but they'll provide it to you. The USITF does that. So like, I'm kind of thinking about it. I don't know. I mean, training for a decathlon takes a lot of time, and competing for it takes a lot of time. But I just feel like, I don't know. That's a weird event that I feel like I could be decent at. Right? But Martha, I think we should definitely compete in our age groups. Like, I wonder if there's like, because I think for these Masters championships, I think it's just traditional like track and field events. But I don't think there's like a USATF Masters marathon. Or maybe, I don't think there is, but I have a feeling that like not much longer before there is something like that. So I feel like there's it's funny. But I'm also like, I'm in the age group, like I watched a couple of videos, as many as I could find, of like previous Masters championships for the steeple. And like some years there isn't anyone in my age group. Some years there's a few people in the age group, but I'm like, can you imagine if I showed up and it was my first time or maybe my second time on the steeple and I place? I don't think that's going to happen. I have a feeling like in the interim, a lot of people have, like gotten very interested in running again or rekindled their interest in track and field events. So like, I feel like there'll be more people and more competition, but I think it'll just be funny if I can get out there, and it'll be really gratifying too. So I think we should do that. But I'll keep an eye out. I'll it'll be all well documented. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what we can do together. All right. Kamal Paid Yuruti says, will the SL20 work on 400 meters? For a race, I still would probably, if I'm racing 400 meters on the track, I want spikes. But if I'm doing 400 meter repeats, even on a track, I think you could do it. If I'm really doing 400 meter repeats on a track, I might spike up for that. That's a fast distance. And depending on, if it's a VO2 max workout, you're doing lots of 400s. Yeah, I want some spikes. But, but if you're doing like a marathoner's 400 meter workout where it's like, 30 by 400 meters, 3 sets of 10, at threshold pace, I think the SL20 is gonna be great. That's a big workout, but definitely something you can do. So I think it depends. But for the most part, I think no for racing, yes for workouts. Martha says, I'm in a new age division June 14th. Super easy now. Marathon wouldn't be the strength. The shorter middle might. Yeah. There you go. Awesome. Well, that means your birthday's coming up then in 4 days, Martha. Awesome. Very cool. Sorry, I'm pouring a little bit more of this beer here. But very cool. Very cool. I just think that like now's a great time, I think, to try these Masters competitions. As far as I can tell, for these events, there isn't like any sort of qualifier required. The only thing has to be like you have to be a US ATF member, which costs a little bit of money every year. And then you have to pay to go to the meets, which is pretty expensive as far as track meets go. But there's that. And then you have to show proof of age. And that's it. That's it. And you'll be in there. So Jeff Elliott says, I'm 47 and around here, all the 50-year-olds are still a lot faster than me. Maybe we'll get better at 60. Yeah, but all the 50-year-olds that are around you probably are not competing at the US ATF Masters Championship or maybe even in the regional meet. See, I think that there is a regional meet for the Southwest and I think the Northeast. I don't think there's a Midwest regional this year, maybe because of COVID, but there isn't a regional this year. But so it's like you don't have to be the fastest. You just got to be the fastest that day of the people that showed up. That's where I feel like I might be able to slide in there and get a good result, All right. Mark says, did you see the Boston 10s on Seth's vlog? They look pretty stacky. I didn't. I saw Ben Johnson tweeted about them, and he was like, he's like, I just bought these on this weird tennis something website, so I bought a pair too. Mine will be coming in tomorrow. I don't know that I'll be able. I probably am not going to run in them until next week, just to get my legs. I want to be able to like really run in them a little bit. I'm not just going to go out for an easy recovery run when I get the Boston 10. So I'll get them soon, I think. But yeah, they are going to be tall. They're going to be tall, but I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited for it. All right. Sarah McKinney says, good to see you again. Sarah says, evening co. Question. How about testing some more left field road and trail running shoes like the Diodora or the Scarpa respectively? I'm not against the idea, but one of the things I've been thinking about a lot for this year is I don't want to have shoes that I don't want to make a negative review, not because I don't want to make a negative review, but I want to be really selective and very excited about the shoes that I run in. And so I'm trying to be a little bit more selective about what comes in. And so the 10.9 is an exception to that rule, but yeah, so I'm like trying to be like, it's got to be something that I feel pretty confident I'm going to like, is where I'm at on that. And so like with the Diodora, I'm not sure. I'm not convinced yet. I'm not going to be an early adopter, I think, is where I am on that. Like same thing with like where there was that Chinese company with the carbon plated shoe, or was it double carbon or something like that? And I was just like, I don't know. I'm not interested in that. Because I really want this year to be about like just really enjoying running and just having fun running. So yeah. G-Gore99 says, hey Mike, have you tested the Coros Pace 2? I haven't, but I tested the Coros Apex last year. I bought the Coros Apex right before the Coros Pace 2 came out. And they're pretty similar watches. On paper, they're almost identical. And so like I feel like I have a good sense of what the Pace 2 is. And basically, I think like pound for pound, like I don't know that there's a watch that can outperform the Pace 2. Like you just get so much value, you get all the sensors, you get all the data collection that you might want from that. The only thing that really keeps me back from using a lot of Coros is I just don't like the way that, one, I don't like the look of the user interface, like on the web. And I don't think it gives me this, like the sleeping recovery metrics that I want. It gives me like hours sleeping, REM sleep, deep sleep, that kind of thing. But like, I don't know if it's, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm taking a look at it, but I'm not sure that any of the Coros watches gives me like heart rate variability while I'm sleeping, respiration rates. Maybe it gives me that, but that and beat to beat variability of the heart. So those are things that I use to kind of figure out like how like stressed is my body when it's sleeping. And by stressed, I mean like how busy is it in terms of like working to fix something. So like when those numbers are off, it's either because my body is really taxed from a hard workout or I'm sick, and so like those are numbers that I pay close attention to, like especially like on a week like this, like the week after our big race, to see like, can I push harder? am I just feeling groggy, or am I actually in a state where I need to, ease off a little bit? And so that's the main thing that I kind of like, look out for on that watch. But I will say though, like if you're looking to get a watch that does really great, just run tracking and is really livable, I mean, Coros, I feel like probably the two best values are probably the Coros Pace 2 and the Garmin 245. That's kind of what I think. All right, I'm not going to understand how to say this name, so I apologize for that. But the question is, good evening. I would like to ask you, which shoe would you suggest if someone has an issue with the knees? I would like to try the Hoka and a Clifton 7, but I don't know if it's the right shoe. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on what's going on with the knee, and I was just listening to something. I'm trying to remember what it was. It wasn't Doctors of Running, but it sounds like something that would show up on their channel. But basically the conversation went something along the lines of like, people ask all the time, what's the best shoe to fix this condition? What's the best shoe to address this injury? And like the person that they were interviewing was basically like, and that's just the wrong question to be asking. And so like the main thing that I would say is what's up with the knee. And I think if you can fix what's going on with the knee, that will open up a much wider catalog of shoes for you to be able to run in. But to try and give at least some help in the meantime, I think the Clifton 7 is generally pretty good on knees. Last year when I was running with what I didn't know at the time, I later found, like, I think I self-diagnosed what I later thought was runner's knee or patellar tendonitis. One of the shoes that I really enjoyed at the time was the Bondi 7. And that is kind of like a mega Clifton. And so it was just much softer. It was a lot less impact on the knee. And I think that helped a little bit. But, I really think that don't focus too much on like buying a new pair of shoes and thinking that that's going to save your knees. I would say run in the shoe. If you're still running while your knee's kind of like not 100%, number one, figure out if that's really the prudent thing to do. If you're going to run anyway, run in whatever shoe aggravates your knee the least, but really spend your attention focusing on how do I fix the knee. And that's kind of how I would look at it. Jason Dahl says, my dad was a 250 marathon in his 30s, but he stopped running in his 40s. Now that he's in his 60s, he started running races for fun and is cleaning up age group wins, even though he's not nearly as fast. Yeah, Jason, it's good to see you again. I mean, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people that could handily beat me are maybe at a point where they're not like interested in running right now. So like, I feel like I got to get in there while I can before like competition heats up. Also, the thing with like a Masters steeple right now is that like the steeplechase existed as an event, but like when I was in like high school and college and stuff. But so people who are my contemporaries in my age group, unless you came from like a certain like very select regions of the country, didn't have steeplechase in high school. They may have had it in college, but only if you were like at a really high caliber of runner were you even like thinking about steeplechase. So it's an event that people never tried, kind of like pole vault. It's an event that people never tried. And so like pole vault, I think if I hadn't tried it before, I'd feel like I don't know that I want to try that at my age. But steeple is an event that I feel like I want to try at my age. But if your dad was a 250 marathoner in his 30s, yeah, he could totally, yeah. Where is he? Is he local? We can run. Maybe he and I can go to these track meets. I'll drive. We can go to these Masters races together. Carpool or something, I would love to have like a Masters decathlon training buddy, a little like Dan and Dave. Like if there's a guy named Matt, like a little Mike and Matt kind of thing. Maybe we get sponsored by Reebok. I don't know. I think that'd be funny. All right. Remy said, did Co swim today? Let's make it happen, man. All right. So I asked my wife, I was like, are we still members of the gym? Because I know she was trying to quit it because it's like we're not even in the state and the gym was mostly closed. And even to the extent it was open, we weren't going. So we were trying to quit for a long time. And I was like, are we members of the gym? And she said she had to call up because she couldn't remember. turns out we're not members of the gym anymore. So like, I got to figure out, like, do I want to join the gym again this summer? Because in the summertime, we tend to leave a lot. Or should I just swim in the lake? Can I open water swim in the lake? But then I'm like, I feel like that's going to be real hard for me to like learn how to swim if I'm open water swimming. So like I got some thinking to do, and I'm like, no, there's time for that later. But I'm also like, no, if I wait, I'm not going to do it, and I need more time. So like, I'm thinking what I probably just need to do is maybe after I finish the rest of this beer, that'll give me the courage to go sign up for that triathlon, the Chicago Triathlon in September. And then I'll have a reason to really start swimming soon. So I gotta figure some of that stuff out. I've been watching like a lot of people bring their dogs to the beach as I run. And I want to be like, I should just swim too. So I'm just thinking like I might just start swimming in the lake. Is that going to be bad? I don't think it's going to be bad for me. So we'll see what the water temperature is like. I'm thinking the girls it's going to be hot this weekend here. So I'm thinking the girls will probably want to go have a beach day. So we'll see how the water is. Maybe I'll need to get a wetsuit or something, but I don't know. Yeah, Jason says the Ohio Street Beach is a great place to swim if you want interesting things to look at underwater. Oh, okay, I bet. It's also, for those of you who aren't familiar with the area, that's a little alcove that's like protected water. And so a lot of people bring their really expensive boats and hang out in that area. And it's called the playground for Chicago in the summertime. They'll just dock and it's just like a giant party. But it's also the area a little bit closer to shore where the triathlon swimmers swim. And there's like lockers and stuff there. So you can like run or bicycle there, put your stuff in the locker, put on your wetsuit and swim around. But I'm like, that's like a 3.5 mile run from where I am. But like if I run 1.5 miles, I can get into some water. And in the morning, if the water's calm, I'd have just as good a swim, I think. Because I'm not swimming that far. So, and the water is very shallow. So like I could be swimming like really far from the shore and then I'd probably only be like waist deep or maybe chest deep in the water. So like, I feel pretty good about that. So I'm thinking about it. And maybe Real says, OWS. I don't know what that means. But he says the tides are turning. Yes. Try with me, Co. Yeah. I mean, I said I did a lot of the biking last year. I got to figure out the swimming. I was watching your swim footage today on Instagram, Remy. I was like, all right, Remy's getting after it. He's doing it. I'm like, I got to get in. That's the other thing. I spent a lot of time yesterday thinking, how do I film myself swimming? I don't think I can film myself swimming. I think I need help. I was like, maybe I could figure out some sort of tie a rope to myself and like have a little boat, a floaty with a GoPro on the back. I don't think that'll work, but yeah. But Remy's thinking, he's like, all right, review a wetsuit, looking at the TYR suit options. All right, well, we'll have to, open water swim. Okay, yeah, I'll do open water swim. There we go. I see this is how much of a newbie I am. All right. Maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll just jump in the water tomorrow. I'll just run in my swimsuit, hop in the water for a little bit, see how it feels. I could do that. There was someone swimming in the water today. I think because of the eclipse, a lot of people were up by the water today. And there was this one, I'm going to call them a couple that were there. And I'm not sure what she was wearing. It was kind of like an animal print leotard, but it wasn't animal print. It was some sort of other weird, like geometric, almost like an architectural print. Like, you know, like when the people make those suits and they like stand against like really weird wallpaper and try to get invisible. It kind of was like looking like that, but she had some sort of weird bodysuit on. And there was another dude with like MC Hammer pants and no shirt on, like doing like exercises with like a big staff or a bow, you know, like Donatello had. And like they were doing that along the lakefront in the sunrise. And I was like, you guys are awesome. As I was running by with my extended selfie stick and 360 camera. So, yeah. So that was pretty funny. So I mean, I might just hop in the water. I think it's going to be too cold to just hop in the water right now, though. Yeah. So we'll see. But I mean, I guess there's only one way to find out if it's too cold. I mean, like, because I've been up to like my knees in the water when like there's waves and stuff. So I feel like if I get hot by the time I run to the water, let's hop in for a little bit. And if I can't handle it, I'll just get right out. It'll be quick. And then if I'm cold, I'll just run fast. So we'll do it. All right. I'm gonna hop in the water tomorrow. It seems like a bad idea. It seems like something you would do after drinking a couple of beers idea, but we'll go for it tomorrow. I'll do it for you guys. It's not going to be good footage though, because I don't know how do you film that. I don't know how to film it. But Sarah says West Madison Ave Mode Gym in Chicago has a good pool and cryotherapy. Yeah, I mean, there's a pool near me. I just don't want to sign up for another like year-long commitment for a gym when I'm going to be traveling a lot and stuff. Yeah, because like we were members of that gym primarily because my daughter was on a climbing team, and that gym has a climbing wall. And so I thought, as long as I have to bring my daughter there twice a week, I might as well be a member of the gym, because then I could drop her off for a climbing practice and then go work out and then pick her up and time my workout to end when she's done. And then like a month after we signed up, like the pandemic hit. And so, yeah. But yeah, Remy says use the go-to with water. Yeah, so I'm thinking I might bring like a GoPro. I'll bring the stick and the stubby, so then I'll have something with it. But like I'll kind of swim. But like if I swim with it, then people are like, well, you can't swim because you're swimming while holding a GoPro. But like I'll it'll be a start. It'll be a start. So we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll try. I think if I don't start now, I won't. So I'm gonna do it. All right, I'll do it tomorrow. Sanchit says, quick question about the EpiRack 2 before going to college. This is in 2019. Need new shoes now for running. Love your content, man. Helps formulate an impression for shoes. I would say if you love the Epic 2 and I love the Epic React 2, try and find another pair of Epic React 2. Like find old stock. That's a really good shoe. The closest equivalent now in the Nike lineup is, I think, the Infinity React 1 or 2. I'd probably go with the version 1. People don't love the version 2 as much, but I think I don't think there's that big a difference personally. So that's probably the next closest one that I would look at for another shoe if you really like the Epic React 2. That was a good shoe. The Epic React 1 also a really good shoe. Really just colorful designs, and they really worked. Same thing with their Epic React 2. I feel bad that I like ragged on how little of an update it was, because I feel like now we don't have it. So I feel bad. Mark says the Epic Reacts are back on sale in the Nike app. I might have to go pick up another pair. That's fun. Jess says, I have a pandemic home gym now. I don't think I'll ever pay for a membership ever again. Yeah, so see what I was thinking is that the pool in Dyersville, Iowa, it has weird hours, because it's like, I feel like, the kids have taken over. Like that thing is just run by like high school kids. And so like regular open swim starts at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. But I looked at the schedule and it kind of alternates every other hour between like open, like adult lap swim and swim lessons. So I'm like, all right, maybe I can have one of these kids to teach me how to swim better. And then I'll stick around for the next hour for lap swim. And then I'll go home, pick up the kids if we're at grandma and grandpa's house, and then bring them back and we'll just hang out and swim. And then I could do the thing every hour when it's adult swim. Like there's every 50 minutes, they make all the kids get out of the pool and the lifeguards take a break. And like, it's just the adults. And then I could just dominate the pool for 10 minutes at a time. I don't know. So I'm thinking about that. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like, that's why I don't want to do like another gym membership right now, because I'm just totally not into gyms. Like, just like you, Jess. Like, if we had a house, I would totally have the full like. Have you ever seen the photos that Ben Johnson? I think his Instagram account is Ben Johnson 763. Is that the area code for Minneapolis? I don't know. But Ben Johnson has he's got a giant TV. He's got the bike trainer. He's got like the weight rack. He's got his treadmill. If we had a house with like a basement, I would totally have all that stuff now. And I wouldn't need a gym. Like I'm just not interested in gyms. So I'm with you on that. But I'm trying to figure out this swimming thing. Swimming is a little bit more difficult. So, but yeah. Sebastian, let's do the last one for today. Have you heard anything about the Hoka Evo Speed Goat 2? I haven't, and I feel like it's due for an update, right? And what I'm really surprised is that like the update hasn't happened before Western States. Western States is in like 2 weeks, and the Evo Speed Goat is based off of the Speed Goat 3. Right? We've had a Speed Goat 4 this year, right? Is it this year? Speed Goat 4 was last year. So I'm like, at what point do we get a Speed Goat 5? Or did the Speed Goat 4 just come? I don't know. I'm not that familiar with the Speed Goat line, and I'm not that familiar with the Evo, but I feel like the Evo is like a generation ago. And so I'm like, if you're not going to update that every year, you got to at least do it every 2 years, right? So like, I don't know. I'll be talking with some Hoka people relatively soon, so maybe I can get some inside info on that. But I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it, and I don't think that we're gonna like. If there was a time to get it out, it would be now. And since we don't have it now, I don't think we're getting one this year. Maybe next year we'll get it. Maybe it'll come in the winter because like Hoka now is like sponsoring like Bandera, Black Canyon, a lot of those like January, February ultras. So maybe it'll come out for those races. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm kind of interested in that too. You know why I'm interested in the Evo Speed Goat is because when I ran in the 10.9, it has that mesh in the vamp, like in between the two sides of the shoe. And that's what the Evo Speed Goat has, right? Am I right on that? I think that's right. One of the two, either the Speed Goat or the Evo Speed Goat. So I'm like, oh, I kind of like that. It kind of works. So we'll see. We'll see whenever that does come out. All right. I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow's video, I'm not sure what tomorrow's. I took a lot of footage for today, but I already made a run meditation video about a sunrise. I can't do that 2 days in a row. So I'm not sure what tomorrow's video is going to be. I might just pocket that footage for later. I'm not sure. But I do know that we'll do another live stream tomorrow afternoon, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you guys again. I had a great time today. Hopefully you guys did too. Until I see you guys again, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.